Hello, welcome to Little Vintage World and welcome to my May 2020 reading wrap-up. I read a total of 14 books in the month of May, which I don't think is too bad because I actually had a little bit of a reading slump in the month of May. I just had a week or so where I just really wasn't fancy reading it, but I'm back on it. And these are the books that I have to share with you that haven't featured in other reviews on my channel because I just don't want the same books to crop up again and again. So these are all the rest of the books that I read in the month of May. As usual, I'll leave links for them in the description bar below. So, getting straight into it, I did pick up the new volume of Giant Days. This is volume 12, and I did notice that here they've updated this bit, which is the 2019 Best Humour Publication and 2019 Best Continuing Series winner for Will Eisner. I don't know. So it's great that it's still winning lots and lots of awards because it is my favourite comic book series, as I'm sure you all know by now. So Giant Days, if you haven't read it, is about three girls in their time at university, Daisy, Esther and Susan, and then there's also Ed, Gimel and McGraw as well. In here, I don't want to give too much away because of course it's volume 12, but Ed is having relationship problems. And Daisy is learning to drive, and Daisy is not the best driver, but it has very funny consequences and it's just wonderful, and yeah, it's just as brilliant, so I gave this 5 stars, as brilliant as all the others. Then I was on a kind of like a comic book train, so I read a few. First of all, SheHulk, this is volume 1. SheHulk isn't really too mainstream, is she? And I wanted to read comic by her, and I had this on my shelf for a few years and never got round to it. This I had some difficulties with because the first issue I really liked. I thought the art style was really nice, kind of up my street. I thought it was quite cute. I thought it was funny. I quite enjoyed the simplicity of the first issue, just a simple storyline. I liked it. But then the later issues happened, and what is this art style? I don't know, but it's horrible and I absolutely hated it. So the first issue, great. The last couple, hated. And the others that are the same art style as the first ones I thought were good, but a little bit overcomplicated in their storyline. I ended up giving this 2 stars. I will not be carrying on with SheHulk, but if I want to come back to her, I will just read the first few issues because the first ones were good, but that art style is horrendous. Then I stuck with the comic books and I picked up Harley Quinn Power. So this, what you had to do was read, which is what I did, read the New 52, volume 1 and 2, and then you read this. Volume 1 I gave 4 stars, volume 2 I gave 2 stars. This I also gave 2 stars. It was alright. It wasn't funny. It was trying hard to be funny and it wasn't very funny. I mean, the art style was good. I liked the art style, but I just found it a bit meh. Felt like it lacked something. It just, yeah, it wasn't great. So I'm now finishing Harley Quinn New 52. I've decided I'm not going to carry on with it, but I am going to start reading the Harley Quinn Rebirth series because I believe Poison Ivy appears in this, and you all know how I feel about Poison Ivy. Love her. Then I thought I'd read a children's classic and I picked up Roald Dahl's The BFG. So as a child I watched the film, but I didn't read the book. I read the same books as a child again and again and again. My favourite of Roald Dahl's was The Twits. I also really enjoyed Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and had a beautiful copy of it. I need to find that. I've got that somewhere, but yeah, need to find out my copy. So I thought I'd pick up The BFG. I really enjoyed watching the film as a kid. It's David Jason, isn't it, who does the voice of BFG, I believe, of the old film that I watched when I was a child, and I enjoyed that, and I did enjoy this. It's not as strong for me as The Twits or Matilda or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I did think it was good. I gave it 3 stars. I just don't think it's my thing, you know, giants, and yeah, I just don't think it's my thing. But yeah, it's still good. What Roald Dahl isn't good? Then I was very kindly sent a book for review. This is Charlotte by Helen Moffat. This is a review copy, but I think this is what it looks like. And it's out now. It came out in May. So this book is like, there's a few books like this out at the moment, isn't there, where authors take a character from Pride and Prejudice and kind of continue their story. And here we focus on Charlotte Lucas. So in Pride and Prejudice, spoilers, if you haven't read it, put your fingers in your ears or something. In Pride and Prejudice, Charlotte ends up marrying Mr. Collins, and that's kind of her part over with. We don't really see what goes on much further afterwards because, of course, the story is focusing on Lizzie and Miss Darcy, which is fair enough. But what Helen Moffat's done is taken Charlotte and put her centre stage in this book. So in this book, it's a continuation from Pride and Prejudice. So we have her as Mrs. Collins in this book. We do also see Lizzie and Mr. Darcy, and we really flesh out those characters as well. And you also see some others from Pride and Prejudice that you'll recognise too. I would say this book is good if you're a fan of Pride and Prejudice like I am. I think this is good for already established fans. I think if you haven't read Pride and Prejudice, I would go and read Pride and Prejudice first, then read this. I liked the writing style, it was quite a quick read. I like how Helen Moffat hasn't tried to be like Jane Austen in her writing style. I don't like it when authors take on someone's role and try to write like them. It doesn't work for me, but I liked how she just stuck to her own style. I enjoyed it. I also liked the little details about their dresses and stuff and the material, and I thought that was very, very sweet and nice elegant touches. The only kind of downside for this for me was the sexual scenes. In this, it just felt a little bit un-Jane Austen-y, a little bit unnecessary. I just didn't need them, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, I did enjoy it and would recommend that you pick up if you are a fan of Pride and Prejudice and want to kind of extend your story a little bit and to stay in the realm of Lizzie Bennet and Darcy and all that wonderful loveliness. Then I picked up a historical fiction. I picked up Anna of Cleve, Queen of Secrets by Alison Weir. This is the 4th book in the 6 Tudor Queens series. I have caught up now with the series and I'm ready for the next one, which of course is Catherine Howard. This one. I don't know where to begin. Now, I was really looking forward to this one because I really enjoyed Jane Seymour. I gave that 4 stars. This one, I really struggled with. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great, sadly. In the very beginning, in the first chapter, we have something happen that is quite a big inaccuracy. There's something that there isn't really proof of. And Alison Weir just kind of went with it. And in the back, in her author's note, she says that she's done something that's going to cause a bit of controversy, and I was like, yes, it had. I think you all know how I feel about historical fiction and people putting in inaccuracies when there's no proof of it and over dramatising it for the sake of it. History is interesting enough. I don't think you need to put in huge historical inaccuracies. I think sometimes inaccuracies can work really well. Like, for instance, the last one that she did with Jane Seymour, an inaccuracy in that which I think worked was that Jane Seymour wanted to be a nun. There's no proof of that, but actually what it does is demonstrate Jane's interest in religion and her piety. She was a very pious woman, a very religious and devout Catholic, which is quite funny because her son ended up being completely the other way. But that worked. This doesn't, and it just annoyed me. Don't get me wrong, there's some bits in here that I think are brilliantly written, absolutely spot on, wonderfully written, and I really, really, really enjoyed them. But I just couldn't get over that kind of first hurdle. And I kept coming back to it every now and then. I was like, oh no. I also felt like this book, you know, you could have chopped off a good 100 pages or so out of it. I thought it was longer than it needed to be. I know it's hard with Anne of Cleves and for people that we don't know enough about, but it just annoyed me. So anyone else felt like that? Obviously I can't tell you what it is because it'll spoil it, but it's right in the very first chapter. So yeah, I gave it 2 stars because had it just been on that inaccuracy, it would have got 1, but there were parts of it that I did really enjoy, so it's a real mixed bag book, let me say. Then I went back to comics for something light and easy, and I picked up this little single issue. This is from 1994, and this is Batman Adventures comic. You can obviously see why I picked up. It's Poison Ivy, and I just love her like this. I think she looks so cool. So in this one, someone has been poisoned. A really important person that tries to save Amazon rainforest has been poisoned. No one knows what with, no one knows how to do an antidote, and Batman's like, okay, I know who can help. The only problem, she's in Arkham Asylum and her name is Poison Ivy. And will Poison Ivy help? This was wonderful. I read it like 3 times. It's only tiny, but I read it 3 times on the bounce the first time I got it, and it's just wonderful. 4.5 out of 5 stars, I guess. Maybe 5 stars actually, but I haven't included it in my book count because it's just so small. But yeah, wonderful. And if you like Poison Ivy, try and grab yourself a copy of that because it's great. And then lastly, sticking with Poison Ivy, I picked up this Harley Quinn Welcome to Metropolis. I have had this on my shelf for a couple of years, and I got it because people said if you like Poison Ivy, pick this up because she's a strong character in it. And she is for the first few issues, and then she's just not really in it that much at all, and that kind of got on my nerves. And I didn't think Harley Quinn was that strong in the later issues as well. The first ones I thought were really good, and I really like the art style, but I just didn't feel like it kind of continued for me. Mixed bag. It's always a mixed bag when you've got a lump of, I think there's like 10 in here, something like that, so it's always difficult when you've got a big book of single issues. But yeah, it was alright, wasn't great, wouldn't really recommend it that much, but hey ho. So there we go, that is my May reading wrap up. Chat to me in the comments, all things bookish down below. What have you been reading recently? What do you think of what I've been reading recently? And I shall see you soon for the next video. Take care for now. Bye.